Hey everybody, how's it going? Paul Johns here, your West River Territory sales rep for Ag Performance. And today we're going to be talking about soil health. See behind me here? This field we have gone through with a chisel. And today we're going to be talking about soil health because it is important to think about this all the way to this time of year for when you're going to be doing it next year. Now we've gone through with the chisel, we've gone about 11 inches deep, we've fractured that ground up. We want to make sure that we can get rid of our compaction in the spots where we drove a lot. So we haven't gone all the way down the field yet. We don't do all the fields out here, and we don't do them all the time. They're kind of on a rotation, and it's always good to try something different. You know, there's a really expensive saying in the farming community, and that is, well, we've always done it that way. And you've got to try to do different things to improve, because God's not making any more ground, so we got to do what we can to take care of what we have and make the most of what we have. And so that's where going through and making sure your soil health is exactly where it's supposed to be, or exactly how you want it, or be on the right track to improving it to the way you want it. Now we're going through and we're chiseling because we want to try to get rid of the hard pan where the grain cart drove a lot, where it turned around at the end of the fields here, and kind of where we've been driving a lot down the end drills. So we want to make sure we get that busted up, we can get some air down there, and we're able to stir that soil up a little bit. Because believe it or not, we're not froze, we're not even close to being froze, so there's still bugs that are doing their job down there. So if we just stir that soil a little bit like this, but using the chisel plow versus, let's go over here, just leaving everything on top like this, see the difference there? This allows those microbes to start working on those stalks for you. Now, one thing we did not do this year because we just ran out of time, we were so wet. We had 8.5 inches of moisture in October, along with 2 inches, or 8.5 inches of rain, 2 inches of snow in October. So we didn't even get started till after the 1st of November, and we were still fighting trying to get around lake beds out here. So we did not get a chance to do it this year, but next year something I'd like to do is actually go through and spray Energy Plus on a piece like this. And there's some people out there that do it already. Spray Energy Plus on and then go through and turn it like that, because then you stimulate all those microbes to help start breaking down those stalks for you. So then you go out there in the springtime and you can either take a cultivator or a disc across it, turn it up some more, and you've got a really healthy active microbial zone in that top 3 to 6 inches of soil, which is where you want to be, because that's where your roots are starting out as. Now if you feel the need that you have a hard pan deeper down, that's what rippers are for. You go down 18 inches and bust that hard pan up, because you want those roots to go down as deep as you can. See here, I got some, there's a corn root right there. I mean, that went down all of 12 inches this year, and it just did phenomenal. Having this stuff, the Energy Plus and the Xylem Plus, were actually right outside my test plot here, but the Energy Plus and the Xylem Plus did phenomenal out here as far as drought tolerance and the usability of the ground. I cannot wait to pull soil samples this year and see how that turned out. Availability has really been coming up for us in the soils here, which means we're going to stabilize our pHs. Now we have a lot of calcium in our ground, which means it ties up our phosphorus, manganese, all that stuff. It really throws things out of whack. But we've been finding that using that Energy Plus, those Nutrisoil and Nutrifoliar products are helping untie those, get them out of the soil, get them into crop residue like this, break them back down, and make them highly available for these crops to use again, repeating that circle of life. So they've just done phenomenal for us out here, guys. So the objective to this video is think about what you want your soil health to be next year and take action on it this year. Whether it be our Energy Plus, Nutrisoils. We have some other micronutrient packages, even the sugar products. Sugar is a really unsung hero in our line of work, and I think it just does phenomenal out here. Get those taken care of, or your other micronutrient packs from your local elevator or wherever you get your stuff from, guys. But think about what you want to this soil to be or do for you next year. What can be different? What can be better? Or what do you think would work better for your crops next year? Because every year is going to be different. This is a corn stubble field. We plan on taking the cows. They're up in the Milo, way up there right now. Bringing them on here. They're going to graze most of these stalks off. Take and turn that into manure, which is going to be highly available nutrients, and it's going to be Milo next year. So I already know what my ecology needs to be, my biology and ecology needs to be for next year for this field going into Milo. I know what its nitrogen requirements are going to be, what its phosphorus requirements are going to be. Those are the two parent ones, remember, guys. The calcium and phosphorus. If the one of the parents are gone or not there to do its job, all the little kids are going to start misbehaving, all your micronutrients. So I know now that when we soil sample our fields, we need to look at what is here and what needs to be here for next year. Perfect example of this was another one of our fields about a half mile away from here. Is we took a soil sample and we said, okay, great, there's enough boron there. Now we went back and took tissue samples later on, and we found that there was not enough boron in that plant. So we don't know if we're not sure if it's tied up somehow, or if it's just because it was really dry early on this year. It's pretty crazy because we're done harvesting for the most part, except that one field, and that's going to be another video because it's going to be really interesting. It's actually our AP 1000. It got planted the 25th of March, but it did not come up until I think it was the 28th of June, because it was just bone dry dirt that it went into. And we took tissue samples because we knew it was going to be behind this year. So we took tissue samples, found out it was low on boron in the crop itself. So we have to figure out why it's not getting from the soil up to the plant. And that could be a big help for us as well, not just on boron, but other micronutrients as well. And if it says, well, you know, the boron's there, but it's just not a dense enough parts per million of boron, maybe it's something we have to look at doing foliar feeding a little bit earlier in the year when we're at V3 to V5 to make sure that boron is in that plant for when it needs the best cellular growth for it. So, all right, make sure your soil health is where it's at, guys. That's the objective of this video. Do what you need to do. Everyone's practice is a little bit different. So, take care, guys. God bless.